السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Alhamdulillah والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Brother and sister, welcome to our new episode in Tajweed series, the basics rules of Tajweed. So in this new episode, we are going to talk about the articulation points of the letters. In this episode, inshallah, we're going to talk about the articulation points of the letters. So this is the third episode of this new series. First of all, I will share the subject with you on the screen. So that you can see what we are talking about, inshallah. So I think it's clear, brother and sister, in Zoom. Is it clear? Can you see the first slides? So if you see the first slide clear, you can take or write number 1 in chat, please. So I hope that the sound is clear. So the singular of articulation points in Arabic is makhraj. What does makhraj mean? The articulation point. It is the place of emitting the letter when pronouncing it that differentiates that specific letter from other letters. And the letter is a sound that relies on a specific of approximate articulation point. So we have in Tajweed, or in Arabic in general, we have articulation points are of 2 kinds. Number 1, specific articulation point. It is that which relays on a specific place of the areas of the throat, tongue, or the 2 lips. We call it in Arabic المخرج محقق. Number 2, approximate articulation point. So we have specific and approximate. Approximate مقدر, specific محقق. It is that which does not rely on a specific place from the areas of the throat or the tongue or the 2 lips. So it is approximate articulation point. This approximate articulation point is applied to the lengthened letters that come from the empty space in the mouth and throat. حروف المد. There are several ways to pinpoint the articulation point of a letter. Number one, say the letter without any vowel sound, with the sukun, without any vowel, which means is harf is sakin. Or say the letter with a shadda, which is a better way than just sukun. The first sakin, the second with the vowel that occurs with the shadda. The symbol of the shadda, small c, is like that, like this one. You see on the screen now this slide. So where is the, so 1 minute, check the bar. So this is the bar, and this is the bar. No. So this is the shadda. This is the shadda. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to close this. And go back. So this is the third thing. You want to know the pinpoint articulation of some letters. So I can pronounce or say the letter without any vowel. Um, or shadda. The second thing, precede the non-vowel letter with the hamza with any vowel sound you choose on the hamza. The third thing, we then pronounce the letter and hear the sound. When the sound is cut off, that is the articulation point. So pronounce the sound without any vowel with the precede hamza, and when you pronounce the letter and hear the sound, when the sound is cut off, that is the articulation point. For example, aqo, aqo, when the sound cut off. So this is the point of articulation. This is articulation point of qaf, or mim, or an, noon, or al, lam, and so on. And I think this is clear, inshallah. So the scholars laid out 5 major areas that have within them the different articulation points, which are a total of 17. The 5 major areas are the empty space in the mouth and the throat, which we call the jawf. Al-jawf, this is the first makhraj of the main or major 5 makharij. The hesitant one articulation point for 3 lengthened letters. 3 lengthened letters. So this is the makhraj of harf al-mad, the jawf, the empty space. Number 2 is the throat. The throat, which is الحلق. It has, so we have the empty space in the mouth and throat, which we call the jawf, and we have the throat, which we call the الحلق. It has the articulation point for 6 different letters, which are pronounced from the deepest, middle, and closest part of the throat. So we have 3 parts on the throat. So I think we will going to see this is in image, inshallah. So we have 3 parts or 3 articulation points for 6 different letters, which are pronounced from the deepest. We have deepest, middle, and closest part of the throat. Okay. Number 3 is lisan, the tongue. Lisan, it has 10 articulation points for 18 letters. 18, yes. So we have first makhraj. How many letters come from the first makhraj? Is 3. And the second, the throat, we have 6 letters. And from the third articulation point, the tongue, we have 18 letters. 18, yes. And the fourth articulation point, the 2 lips. They have 2 articulation points for 4 letters. For 4 letters, the 2 lips. And the fifth articulation point is the nose. The nose. Excuse me, the nose. The nose, from the hole of nose towards the inside of the mouth, it is 1 articulation point, which we call الغنة. Ghunna come from the nose. Yes. So, brother and sister, we have, in general, as the scholar says, we have 5 major areas. We have 5 major areas, which is the articulation points of Arabic letters. Number 1, the empty space in the mouth and throat. Number 2 is throat, and number 3 is the tongue, and number 4, the 2 lips, and number 5 is the nose. Okay, so this picture make it clear for us. So pay attention, or screenshot for you if you want, of course. So pay attention, please. We have we'll begin from the empty space. So this is so please pay attention to this circle, the circle that I use. This is, you see it, brother and sister? This is this one. Oh, this. So the empty space in the mouth and the throat, which is this place, empty space. The mouth and throat, this is empty, which is black. This is الجوف, the empty space. And we have the throat. This is the throat. This is the throat. This is the black area. And we have الخيشوم, the nasal passage, nose. This is inside the nose. We call it خيشوم. We have غنة. And shafatan, the 2 lips. This is 1 shafa, and this is the first lips, second lips. 1, 2. And the tongue, lisan. This is the tongue. This is, so we can see it in the picture. The circle, tongue, this one, this part. Okay, that's good. And we have roof of the mouth, soft palate. This is the الحنك الآن. This one. This one. Okay, I think that's clear, inshallah. So let's go. Now we are going to take the letters. So the empty space in the throat and mouth. The empty space in the throat and mouth. The empty space in the mouth. The throat is a place in the articulation point at the same time. The three mid letters originate from this non-specific area. These letters are, which we call it حروف المد. So the first one, the alif with the sukun preceded by a letter with a fatha. The alif with the sukun preceded by a letter with a fatha. Uh, and the alif is always with sukun. The second, the waw with sukun preceded by a letter with dhamma. Manu, nu, nu. This is waw with sukun and preceded by a letter with dhamma. Nu, nu. كل حرف مد. And we have the ya with sukun preceded by a letter with kasra. These three mid letters do not have a specific space that they finished at, like all the other letters. All the others do. Instead, this letter finished with the stopping of the sound. Okay, I think so. We are going to take this part of Al Jazariya because we are going to have, inshallah, in the future some episodes that we can take all Al Jazariya. Okay, that's good. And الحلقة, the throat. There is in the throat 3 articulation points for 6 letters. These 3 areas are the deepest part of the throat, meaning farthest from the mouth and closest to the chest. From here, 2 letters are articulated, which is Hamza and Al-Ha. If you say ah, 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 you find that the sound comes from the deepest part of the throat. Okay, the sound comes from the deepest part of the throat. Okay, that's good. So so the middle of the throat is where 2 letters emerge, which is al-ain and al-ha. If you say ah, 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 you find that the ain and the ha come from the middle of the throat. Okay, the upper part of the deepest and the upper from the makhraj of the articulating point of the hamza and the ha. And we have adna al-halq, the closest part of the throat, meaning close to the mouth. Okay, from here 2 letters, which are and the ain and the kha. Okay, al, al, akh, akh. So we have 3 articulation points, separate articulation point from the throat. We have the deepest part, the middle part, and the closest part. From the deepest part, we have 2 letters. Ah, 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 ah. From the middle of the throat, we have 2 letters, which is ah, ah. And from the closest part of the throat, we have L, H, L, H. I think that's clear, inshallah. So we are going to pass this one to the lisan, خارج اللسان, the tongue, lisan. It has 10 articulation points from 18 letters. These 10 articulation points are distributed over 4 areas of the tongue, which are deepest part of the tongue, and the second one is middle of the tongue, and the edge side of the tongue, and tip of tongue. So as you seen in the picture, so look please at the picture. Look here. This is the tongue. This black part, the picture. This is the tongue. Maybe in the next episode we are going to see this in color, inshallah. So this part is top of the tongue. This is top of the tongue. Tip of the tongue. This is tip. This is top. This is tip. Okay. And middle of the tongue. This is the middle. And deepest part. This is deepest. And side or edge. Let's say side of the tongue. This one. So this is four parts. Okay. Let's begin with the deepest part of tongue. The deepest part of tongue, we have al-qaf from the deepest. Where is the deepest? Deepest part. This is okay. This is the deepest. This is the deepest part. We have the qaf and the kaf. Let's begin with the qaf. From the deepest part of the tongue, and what lies opposite of roof of the mouth, the soft palate. So we have a roof, and we have other parts. We're going to see it, which is hard. We have hard, we have roof. Okay. So if you say aqo, you find that the sound of qaf comes from the deepest part of the tongue with what? With the roof of the mouth, which is the soft place. Palate. Okay. And the kaf from the deepest part of the mouth and what lies opposite of it. Just 1 minute. So from the deepest part, from the deepest part of the mouth and what lies opposite to it of the roof of the mouth, the hard palate, the kaf is under the kaf. Aqo, qalqala in the kaf, hams in the kaf. The kaf letter, is the kaf is under the kaf, the makhraj, the articulation point of the kaf, a letter, meaning closer to the mouth and farther from the throat than the kaf. Okay, that's clear, inshallah. So let's skip this and go to the middle of the tongue. Middle of the tongue, we have jim, shin, ya. Okay, 3 letters articulated from here. They are jim, shin, ya. Okay. We call it حروف شجرية because they are articulated from the center of the mouth. If you say أج, أش, أي, not the ياء مادية, أي, ياء مادية have سكون and the letter before it have فتح. This is not. Excuse me. ياء المادية have سكون and the حرف before it have كسرة. This is no. Okay. This is حرف, not مادي. Okay. أج, أش, أي. So before the rest of the articulation points of the tongue are discussed, the teeth and their names in Arabic and English explained. It's very important to know this order to comprehend well Each letter is being articulated. Okay. Adults normally have 32 teeth. Some people have less than this. This is no problem. The following picture give the names and locations of teeth in Arabic and English. Okay, we are going to speak about English, Arabic. We have it in other lessons, inshallah. Okay, so we have canine. This is nab, and we have thania, central incisor, and we have lateral incisor, رباعية, ra, not ro, and first premolar. This is طواحن, second premolar, and two molars in Arabic, and the wisdom tooth. This is ناجد, we call it درس العقل in Arabic. Okay, so brother and sister, the incisors ثنايا are 4 in total. So we have 4 incisors, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. Okay, اثنان في الأعلى اثنان في الأسفل. And the singular form, the singular form of this word in Arabic is ثنية, ثنايا, ثنية. Okay, and the plural form is ثنايا. Okay, when there is a reference to 2 of the incisors, almost always referring to the 2 top incisors. Okay, the Arabic word ثنيتين is ثنيتين, ثنية 2, ثنيتين plural ثنايا. The Arabic word for upper is عليا, upper, ثنيتين, ثنيتين عليا. Or when the reference is concerning to upper teeth, the Arabic word is علويتين. The lateral incisor or الرباعيات are also 4 in number, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. The canines are referred to as الأنياب in Arabic, and the same number of الأنياب, the plural of nab, exists on the top of and the bottom, two. Okay, set of teeth. The dawahik or premolars follow the same pattern, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, or molars, dawahin, are 12 in number, 3 on each side, 3 on each side, 2 on the bottom and 2 on top. On each of the upper and lower set of teeth, making a total of 12. The wisdom teeth, nawajid. This word is plural of najid. Are 4 in number for those who have wisdom teeth. Okay. حافة اللسان from the side of the tongue are 2 articulating points for 2 letters. That it is articulated from one of the sides or edges. We say side or edge of the tongue, and what lies opposite to it of the upper molars left or right. It can also be articulated from both sides at the same time. This is one of the most difficult articulation points. I mean the articulation points of that for Arabs or non-Arab, even the Arabs people have some problems in this letter. Non-Arabs alike. So we say el da, do, di. Okay, and the lam. This letter's articulation point is from the nearest part of the side of the tongue, nearest to the mouth, and the end of its tip, and what it lies opposite to it of gums of the first 2 upper premolars, the 2 upper canines, the 2 upper lateral incisor, and the 2 upper from incisor. Its articulation point, it is the front edges of the tongue, whereas the dad is from the posterior edges of the tongue. Okay, we say L, no, L, la, lu, li, like this. And tip of the tongue, there are 5 articulation points for 11 letters, which are follows. So, brother and sister, we're going to talk about tip of the tongue next week, inshallah, in the next episode. And now, let's go to take the Quran and read some verses, inshallah. And I hope to hear you reading, and hope to listen to you. So, if someone of you want to read, please raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand. So we have read the last episode, Surah Al-Ala, Surah Al-Ghashiyah, I think Surah Al-Fajr. So now we're going to read Surah Al-Balad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا So we're going to, excuse me, we're going to read Surah Al-Balad, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا أقسم بهذا البلد وأنت حل بهذا البلد ووالد وما ولد لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد يقول أهلكت مالا لبدا أيحسب أن لم يره أحد ألم نجعل له عينين ولسانا وشفتين وهديناه النجدين فلا اقتحم العقبة وما أدراك ما العقبة فك رقبة أو إطعام في يوم ذي مسغبة يتيما ذا مقربة أو مسكينا ذا متربة ثم كان من الذين آمنوا وتواصوا بالصبر وتواصوا بالمرحمة أولئك أصحاب الميمنة والذين كفروا بآياتنا هم أصحاب المشأمة عليهم نار مؤصدة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذبت ثمود بطغواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى وأما من بخل واستغنى وكذب بالحسنى فسنيسره للعسرى وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى إن علينا للهدى وإن لنا للآخرة والأولى فأنذرتكم نارا تلظى لا يصلاها إلا الأشقى الذي كذب وتولى وسيجنبها الأتقى الذي يؤتي ماله يتزكى وما لأحد عنده من نعمة تجزى إلا ابتغاء وجه ربه الأعلى ولسوف يرضى. So, brother and sister, with this, we come to the end of this episode. And we're going to see you, inshallah, in the fourth episode next week, inshallah, at the same time. And we're going to continue the articulation points and reading from Surah Al-Duha, inshallah. Until this, نسأل الله عز وجل أن يجعل عملنا خالصا لوجه الكريم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.